Morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela with questions. I've got questions for you. What opens with the Pearsons cleaning up, literally, the parent Pearsons literally cleaning up, and what closes with Deja's mama cleaning up her relationship with Deja a little bit? If you guess This Is Us, the most disappointed man. Season 2, Episode 7, you're correct. Thank you so much for clicking on the video and sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. I am Angela and the channel is Be Fabulous You. Let us proceed. So we got Daddy Jack and Mama Wife and Rebecca cleaning up. They get a visit from their social worker regarding baby Randall's adoption. And we see a montage of visit after visit after visit from the social worker. Her name is Paula, and it culminates with paperwork and her glowing recommendation for the formal adoption of Randall by the Pearson family. And they're just going to forward this, just a formality going before the judge. She's going to ask you if you want to adopt a child, and you're going to tell him yes. And then Randall's going to be your legal son. And Becca is like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. We need to commemorate this. So they go to a photography studio for pictures, and the photographer is having some challenges balancing the light with the white folks and Black Randall. So their photos and smiles on three. Smiles on three, I don't know what that means. But to me, it seemed like they, when you got 3 babies, even with 1 baby, it's hard to kind of get a good shot. When you got 3, you get a shot with 1 that's good or 2 that's good. And, it's always going to be something. So then we see Randall's birth daddy, William. He's being photographed. Speaking of photographs, he's being photographed for a mug shot. And the judge is like, the court accepts your guilty plea, but you have no record, not even a traffic ticket. So I'm rather disappointed. And William is like, well, what would you have me to do? There's somebody selling on every corner, so I buy and I use. And if you had my life, you probably use too. A year ago, my mom was alive, my girl was alive, we were having a son, and now they're all gone, all of them. You are disappointed? Well, guess what? I am more disappointed. I am the most disappointed man you have ever met in your whole life. Put me in the inside, lock me up. There is nothing out there for me anymore anyway. Clink, clank, he locked up. And then we see Randall and Beth in the kitchen, and Randall and Deja are meeting the social worker to go to the clank to see Deja's mommy. It's a mandatory visit with Deja's mom. And the girls come down, and Deja's wearing a dress, and Randall compliments her on it. She's like, it's my mom's favorite. And then we see Kev's phone is ringing with his ex-wife girlfriend Sophie calling. He under the covers and stuff. Sleep, I don't know what time it is. But she giving him, trip details. Oh, I got your favorite food and this, letting him know I'm ready, baby, I'm ready. Come on, come see me. And Kevin is like, oh, we're going to have to move it again because my agent has a director that he wants me to meet. And Sophie is like, this is the 3rd time. This is the 3rd postponement. What's good? What, you don't want to come? You don't want to be with me? You don't want to move? You are the one that showed up at my door to restart this whole relationship. I was good. And Kevin is like, Sophie, I love you. Sophie? And then, I guess she done hung up with him. So he chases a pill, his drugs, with a beer. And they both at the bedside. So it's like, we know he on that routine. Then we see Kate, and we're at Kate and Toby's, and Kate is like, how long is he gonna take? And then Kev arrives. Kev is like, so what's this big announcement? Is it that you two have totally given up on fashion? Because they in hoodies. Shoot, this is the best thing that ever. Shoot. And then they unzip their sweatshirts, and they have t-shirts that say baby. Now, Kate's t-shirt has the arrows pointing down, and Toby's arrow points to Kate. And Kev is like, huh? And Kate is like, we're pregnant. And Kev is like, oh, wow, amazing. And Kate is like, he's going to be the best dad ever, Toby is. Giving all the good advice, right? She's so excited. And Kev is like, I can see that. And he kind of has sad eyes. It's kind of like he happy, but he don't really seem happy. But Kate and Toby don't seem to notice too much in their excitement. And then we're back at the court before the judge with this whole episode was a lot of courts and judges. This is the baby triplets, Pearson, for the adoption of Randall. And the judge is like, where's the social worker? I have question. And the parents are like, well, she not here. She said everything was already in the file. And the judge is like, I said what I said. I have questions. So we're going to reschedule you. My next opening is 3 weeks out. We'll see you then. And then the Pearson parents are stunned. They're shocked. They're surprised. It's not what they expected because the social worker told them, oh, it's just a formality. Then we see Randall and Deja at the jail. And Randall tries to cover Deja's eyes. There's like somebody walking by in handcuffs. He's like, oh, Deja's like, what are you doing? I've seen people in handcuffs before. And Randall is like, oh, okay. Well, me too. And Deja's like, on the TV or in real life? And Randall is like, in real life. On the TV. Then the social worker shows up and she's like, Deja, today there will be no glass dividers or telephones. You'll be able to hug your mom. And Deja smiles and she's like, cool. Then they finish going through security. Then we see Jack and Becca coming out of the adoption courtroom. And Jack is like, Becca's like, I don't understand, Jack. The social worker raved about us in her file. I mean, what does the judge want to talk to her about? And Jack, he sees the judge over by the vending machine. And he's like, let's ask him about it. And Rebecca's like, no, yes, no. And then, they approach the judge. And the judge is like, well, come into my chambers. You're not supposed to talk to me outside of the court. But come on. So then we see Randall. And he's chatting Deja up in the prison. They waiting for... They're in the waiting area. He like, your curls are killing it. They call that a big chop. Your mama's gonna love it. He's so cute and sweet. And then the social worker comes out and Randall goes over to the social worker and the social worker is like, well, Deja's mom is refusing the visit. Randall like, I thought it was mandatory. She like, it's mandatory that y'all give the woman access to her child, but she has refused the visit. And Randall is like, well, why? What's up? And the social worker's like, I don't really know. So then Randall kind of goes off on the social worker, and the social worker's like, hold on now, slow your roll. And Randall apologizes. And then he goes over to they go over to Deja, and Deja is like looking like, what's up? And Randall is like, I know you were looking forward to seeing your mom. I'm so sorry, but there was a mix-up, and, the jail isn't going to let us visit. The paperwork isn't right or whatever. And then Deja's like, well, can I get my purse? And they like, what's up? And she's like, well, I've been saving my money from my allowance to give to my mom so that she can get everything that she needs in here. That is so sad. The baby girl is trying to take care of her mother. Oh, poor baby. Okay, so then we see Kevin, and he's leaving Kate and Toby's pregnancy announcement. And Kate is kind of like, well, did he seem a little off to you? And he like, I don't know. And then she's like, okay, well, we told Kev, now we got to tell your mom. And Toby is like, it's a little earlier. We should give a few hours for her to get the judge block. She watching Judge Judy, Judge Mathis, and Kate is like, Toby, are you scared to tell your mom her Catholic son is having a baby out of wedlock? And Toby is like, yes. Remember how she freaked out when we moved in together? She got over it, but this is a whole nother level. And then Kate is like, it's ringing because she called his mama. And Toby freaks out. He's like, should I leave a message? She's not answering. And then Kate is like, okay, let's go get married. Let's go on to the justice of the peace. We haven't been traditional, so let's just go on and get married. And then they're in the judge's chambers. This is Jack and Becky with the adoption of baby Randall. And the judge is like, look, let me save you some time by being direct. I don't believe that child belongs in your house. He belongs with the black family. How else is he going to know who he is? And how is he going to see himself? And Rebecca's like, we'll teach him. And the judge is like, how do you know what it's like being black? How will you have the tools how will he be a tool? How will he get the tools to be a black man if he stays in your house? And he like, that's my opinion, and it's not going to change. So I'll see you at your next court date. He tells the whole story. He says he says the N-word on the TV in prime time on regular TV. But he like, when that happened to him, somebody called him that name. His father sat him down. His father just explained it to him because his father knew, he had said to him a whole bunch of times, and he just gave him, I guess, what he felt that he needed. Okay. So then we see Kev at a jewelry store, and this is 37-year-old Kev, and he like, I got to be on a red eye in an hour, so show me whatever is the most sparkly. Oh, this is something my dad would do after he messed up with my mom. He's like, I haven't been the best boyfriend, but I really love her. He's talking about Sophie. I'm going to get all three and let her decide. So he get 3 rings. Okay, so then we see Kate and Toby at the marriage license place, and Kobe is like, I never imagined, they done talked to the guy, and he like looking around, he like, I never imagined getting married under so many fluorescent lights. And Kate is like, well, think of all the money we're going to save. Plus, we won't have to answer questions about who's going to walk me down the aisle, or I hear people say your father would have loved today, or worry about daddy-daughter dance and stuff like that. This is way better. And Toby is looking at her like, you got issues. And he's like, yeah, but we can tell he's like, no, this is not right. Then we see another judge waiting to have a word, and he's wanting to have a word in private with William. This is probably when William was, this probably at the same time that Randall was getting adopted, William was getting arrested. This is probably this contemporary. So this is a young William. And, his lawyer was like, I don't advise you. And William's like, whatever. And the judge is like, I gave 10 years to a young man today, and he was for stealing a TV. It wasn't even a nice TV. I didn't want to do it. And I didn't want to give a fella yesterday 5 years and, 15 years to a different fella, the day before yesterday, and 10 to another fella the day before that. I'm a judge. I don't make the rules. And round it goes. You said yesterday that you were the most disappointed man in the world. I fear I am a close second, Mr. Hill. I write terrible stories day after day, and I can't change the ending. That, sir, is a horrible disappointment. I'm going to take a chance on you, William. I'm going to get you out, and I'm going to get you help. And I don't expect you to be perfect. You'll make mistakes just like the rest of us. But look into my face, because William had been looking down all this time, looking off to the side. And he's like, this is a old face, a tired face, a sad face. Just look into my face. And then, he said, and if you ever start heading toward the ending that I don't want to write, I want you to picture this face and make a different choice. Can you do that? Can you find me a different ending for your story? Okay. And I think my thing was cutting off at the end, but basically we see that throughout the rest of William's life, basically, when he's thinking about stuff, he does think about that man's face and makes a different choice. So he basically didn't do any drugs, Okay, so then we see Randall and Beth, and Deja, Beth is like, well, Deja just wanted to go to sleep. And then Beth and Randall are mad at Deja's mom. And Beth is like, we are not letting her go back over there. I don't give a damn about a court order. As long as she's under this roof, no. And Randall is like, wait a second. I thought I was going to be, hold on a second. I was supposed to be the mad one. You supposed to be calming me down. She like, no, yeah. So then we see Toby watching Judge Judy. And out of the corner of his eye, he's, trying to avoid. And then he finally gets into a conversation with Kate's dad's ashes. Jack's ashes they live on the mantelpiece. And he Toby is like, Kate loves weddings. She loves, she watches Say Yes to the Dress. She have a special notebook. She really into weddings. And the courthouse wedding has my bullshit, my BS meter going off. I hear you're really good with advice, and I can use some advice, and, whatever. So then we're at a hospital, and we see Kev arriving. Oh, this is the hospital where Kev's ex-wife, girlfriend, Sophie works. But we find out that Sophie stepped out to Queens. So I'm like, she work in Manhattan. She stepped out to Queens, and the woman is like, oh, she'll be back. I'm like, okay. And then we see Kev in the bathroom, and he's rinsing his face, taking drugs. And then he goes by the newborns, and he has a vision of Sophie with a screaming baby. And Sophie's like, can't you hear him? What were you doing? As he takes drugs. And then it's like another image projection of a toddler baby boy, and Sophie's asking Kev, give your baby boy some advice, and Kev is like, I don't have any, and then Kev drinks a beer. Then we see Kev walking by a 10-year-oldish boy, and the boy is like, hey dad, play with me, and Kev keeps walking by, and then he wakes up out of his nightmare vision. It's kind of like jarring to him. And then we see Randall arriving to visit Deja's mom, to check her for disappointing Deja. And the mom is all beat up, and she like, I didn't want Deja to see me like this and be worried. And Randall was like, checking her. Then he like, well, we were thinking of enrolling her in Woodside Middle School. And Deja's mom is like, the last folks let her stay at her old school. She has friends there. She's on the drill team. And Randall was like, well, Woodside is an excellent school, and I'm sure their cheer squad is great. And then the mama is like, do you have a white wife? Because cheerleading is not drill team. And Randall was like, I know the difference. My wife is black. I wake up with coconut oil and head wraps every day. I got a black queen. She is cute, but okay. And then he's like, you made the choices that got you here, and you need to be focused on what's best for Deja. I'm out here, and that's why I'm making the choices, because I'm better than you, because you over there, because you made your choices. So now I'm making these choices. That's basically what Randall is saying. And then Mama's like, I'm in here. I met the wrong person trying to get right. And you're out there really because things broke your way. I'm not in here by choice. That's some bull stuff. That's some mess that people who have choices say. Deja is my blood. You want to know what's best for her? It's me, because I'm her mama. And the second I get out of here, I'm coming back for her. And then Randall is like, you're going to have to come through me. And then the mama is like, I've been through worse. And I'm like, yeah, you need to support the mother. I mean, help. It's like, to me, when you're fostering a whole family. In a way, I mean, as much as you can, because that's still they mama. The children are, and we can see Deja's connected to her mama. You can't replace. You can just support the child and the family. Okay, so then we see Kate arriving home, and Toby is like, oh, thank God. And Kate is like, babe, you okay? And Toby is like, I told my mom about the baby. And then he unzips his hoodie, and he has on a sweatshirt that says, will you? And then he unzips another hoodie, and it says Mary. And then he unzips another hoodie, and it says me. And then Toby's like, wait. And then he unzips, and he gets to a t-shirt that has a question mark. And then he gets down on his knee, and he's like, can I borrow your engagement ring? He takes the engagement ring, and he's like, if there's any part of you that wants a big wedding, you deserve it. You deserve to walk down the aisle between your brothers and feel their love. You deserve to spend an obscene amount of money on the perfect wedding dress. I know everyone you want to be there can't, but your dad, will want that. And I know, because we were talking today, and I asked him what to do. So what do you say? I just have you say, I don't know what that means. And then we see Rebecca, and she's looking at pictures from the photo session that they took from the photographer when they went to commemorate the adoption of Randall that didn't happen, because the judge is like, no, y'all white, he black. This don't look good to me. So then there's a voiceover of her sending a letter to the judge. And, we see Judge Bradley opening the letter, and he looks, and she's cut and pasted like a family portrait. I guess from the pictures that they had with the children, she had to cut and paste to get a perfect picture. But she like, I noticed that you had, pictures on your picture wall. Well, here's a picture of us to put on your wall, because you better get used to it, because we are a family, and Randall is our son. And we're going to keep coming until it's official. And then, we see Kev walking up the steps of Sophie's brownstone, and she opens the door. She's like, I was worried. You were at the hospital, and you disappeared, and you've been unreachable. And he's like, he tells her, he's like, I'm here. I brought these rings. I'm an empty shell. I brought 3 rings. I'm an empty shell, an empty barrel. Isn't that what the guy called the woman the other day? And I don't know how to be a hubby or a father. That guy that you think is me, trying to be that guy who does the right thing or says the right thing, like my dad or like Toby or every great man from every great movie. You're disappointed that I postponed the trip 2 or 3 times? Well, I'm trying to save you from 40 years of disappointment with me. And then Sophie is like, Kevin, what are you saying to me right now? And Kevin is like, when I dream of our future together, it's a nightmare. I was like, dang. I mean, I know what he meant because we saw the sequence. But, I mean, if somebody said that to me, that would kind of jack me up. Like, I was like, oh, that kind of hurt my feelings. And then the Pearsons are back at adoption court. It's been 3 weeks. And, and Judge Bradley, we find out, has recused himself. So they have a new judge. It's a black woman instead of a black man. And she grants the adoption, easy peasy. Is it somebody on the other side of the gate? Dogs or something. And then William finds out, we see a sequence where William finds out that he has cancer, and the person is like, look, you ain't got long to live, so you might as well enjoy your life. So he go out and he get drugs, and he about to get high. He unwrapping the stuff, and then somebody come knocking on the door, banging on the door, and he hurry up and he wrap the stuff up. Who is it? I can hear you knocking. Dang, what you knocking for? What's up? And it's when he opens the door, it's Randall, and it's when Randall first met him and shows up at his door and is like, you know, I'm Randall, I'm your son. So it's like the judge protected him until Randall could get to him. And if Randall had gotten there like 2 minutes later, I guess he would have been high, or I don't know how long it take to get high. But you know, it was like just in the nick of time, Randall showed up. And, you know, imagine Randall coming and finding his father high, and how that would have totally shifted their dynamic and their potential for a relationship. And the man is about to die, so they really didn't. So it was just like, won't God do it? Won't God do it? Okay, so then Randall, we find out that Randall gave Deja's mom the number to the house and told her to call, collect, you know, that evening. And so the mama is calling, and Deja is so happy to be talking to her mom. And Randall and his wife are looking, and they can see the child. That's her mama. And I know they mad. It's the whole situation is kind of jacked up and just kind of hard. But they did the right thing. They did the right thing. So that was This Is Us. Thank you so much for watching. Today is the best day ever. Ooh, opening night was intense. One of the actors was sick in the emergency room. And we don't have understudies. It's community theater. We almost don't have studies. It's like you'd be lucky if people get the role in the first place, let alone understudies. So luckily it was the type of this particular character in this particular show. There's like a couple times when Lorraine Hansberry speaks during the show, and this person very closely mimics, or, you know, reflects, is close, like it's closely Lorraine Hansberry. And when Lorraine Hansberry speaks on recording during the show officially, the spotlight is on her. There's like a photo of her, a big, you know, photo of her. And so I ended up reading the thing, and we just highlighted the photo, and, you know. So anyway, but tonight the actress says she's going to be there. So, ooh, y'all, I'm a little tired, but we got through opening night. I know, y'all. Do you care? You might care. So that's why I told you, because I thought you might care. But today is the best day ever. You're the greatest. You're number one. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous. You. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous. You. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous. You. What? Be you. Be